two youth shaped by the wilderness arrived almost 10 years apart. Pat Garrett entered the world on June 5, 1850, in Chambers County, Alabama, while Henry McCarty, who would become Billy the Kid, was born in New York City on November 23, 1859. Garrett's early years were forged from grit and lumber. His family operated a sawmill, his mother cared for soldiers from the Civil War, and by 16 he was parentless, traveling solo into Texas. He fell in with buffalo hunters near the Red River, loading hides for rail transport, and living through a fatal gunfight that never saw a trial. His shooting skill built his fame as a crack shot. By the middle of the 1870s, Garrett had wandered to Fort Sumner in the New Mexico Territory, laboring as a saloon keeper and horsebreaker for the rancher Pete Maxwell. He absorbed the law of the frontier beneath vast skies, bedding down under the stars and pursuing injured cattle by daybreak. His lanky build and silent determination destined him to become a deputy when Lincoln County burst into conflict. In 1877, a card game altered all their paths. Inside the Oriental Saloon, Garrett observed a slim, gap-toothed young man handling cards with brash assurance. This was Henry Bonney, Billy the Kid. For a short time, they sat together at fires, Garrett imparting lessons in restraint, Billy demonstrating how to gauge a man from a single glance. They shared whiskey under the night sky, debated whose lot was more difficult, and chuckled like siblings. Then a star was pinned to one and a bounty placed upon the other. In March 1880, supported by wealthy cattlemen weary of theft, the electorate chose Garrett as Lincoln County Sheriff. He fastened his badge and walked out onto a dusty veranda he had once stood upon with a comrade. When he proposed giving Billy a ride back, the Kid simply touched his hat and turned his horse away. Their bond shattered in an instant, more constricting than any rope. The Lincoln County War erupted into bloodshed. Billy the Kid rode with the vigilante regulators, while Garrett commanded posses hunting outlaws. That December, word spread that the Kid was concealed at Stinking Spring. At daybreak, Garrett encircled the adobe hut, demanded they yield, and a lone shot to the thigh persuaded a chuckling Billy to emerge into the frigid air. Garrett brought him back living, the gallows rope already prepared. But Billy smiled during the journey, making light of coffee and his impending liberty. On April 28, 1881, the Kid broke free from the courthouse, slaying deputies Bell and Ollinger in the turmoil. Garrett was labeled a failure, shamed that the youth he once knew as a friend had evaded him. The myth expanded. The press derided the sheriff's star as a theatrical accessory. Cattlemen murmured that Garrett had intentionally allowed the Kid to flee. Garrett might have faded into oblivion, but he decided to author the narrative. In 1882, he released The Authentic Life of Billy the Kid, a personal chronicle penned with the help of ghostwriter Ash Upson. The text vindicated his side of the story, yet it also ignited the Kid's legend, transforming a fugitive into a frontier martyr. By then, Garrett's own fame was overshadowed. He progressed, named U.S. Customs Collector by President Roosevelt, championed irrigation schemes, and acted as an expert witness in legal disputes. Yet financial woes and political foes persistently followed him. On February 29, 1908, a solitary gunshot echoed along a desolate New Mexico path, ending the life of the man who had pursued the West's most notorious outlaw. Wayne Brazel was acquitted, alleging he acted in self-defense. Whispers circulated about cattle magnates and aged grudges, the very powers that originally sent Garrett after Billy. Pat Garrett perished surrounded by more mysteries than certainties. Did he slay a comrade or immortalize a legend? His book moved countless copies, yet scholars still dispute his account of that midnight gunfight. No tribunal, no jury, and no corpse ever conclusively resolved the truth. In the final reckoning, Garrett's existence was molded by the very frontier ethic he upheld. Allegiance was tested by gunfire, retribution delivered at daybreak, and tales spun long after the shooting ended. His legacy endures in every lawman's badge and every desperado's ghost, a testament that in the West, the past is never merely a contest of good against evil. It is the ambiguous divide separating them. Ride back to our campfire soon for the next installment in this series about Pat and Billy. Until then, friend, keep your gunpowder ready, your account consistent, and your heels clear of the embers. And always be wary of a silent barroom.